There are so many industries right now that are literally poisoning us because of profits. It's everywhere, just like the forever chemicals are everywhere. The World Health Organization has deemed probable cancer causer. Put this stuff into our water systems, into the air systems, into their own employees, causing birth defects and cancer and all of these issues. And they completely and totally knew about it. We're turning our foods into frankenfoods, and we're turning our bodies into little Frankenstein bodies. It is legitimately, this is how the world will come to an end with a zombie apocalypse. Humanity has normalized poisoning ourselves. But we have a choice, and we can change that, and we can choose to change that. We have been lied to, deceived, poisoned in the name of profits. And if it was just me, if it was just adults, I'd be like, I'm too busy to worry about so much of that. What are you gonna do? Life's so short. But it's not just me. It's this next generation. It's our children. And it is disgusting. We've been lied to, we've been cheated, we've been poisoned in the name of profits, and it has to change. And that's what this video is about today. This video isn't to scare you. This video is to tell you the truth, and it's to spread awareness, and it's something that is so important. My name's Carrie. I'm doing a documentary, Healing Humanity, The Power of a Proper Human Diet. I just surpassed 1 year. I started doing this as an elimination diet. I ended up just eating meat, and a lot of people would think, well, that's crazy. You're promoting this all meat diet. No, really what I'm promoting at this point is a return to sanity, a return to what is natural. I'm gonna do this entire video, as I do with most of my videos, one cut, no edits. Why can I do that? Because I am a proper human. Because I don't have brain fog and fatigue like most of humanity does right now, walking around intoxicated on the standard American diet, poisoning themselves and wondering why they have no energy, and they plop down on the couch at the end of the day and they can't find their words. I can do this entire video with no cuts and no edits because I have the energy to do so, just like every proper human would if they weren't impaired. But number two, because I'm going to tell you the truth. And when you speak the truth, I don't need notes. I don't have any bias. I don't have any agenda. My only purpose in doing this video is to help people and to spread awareness. That is my only purpose. If I die tomorrow, or if I die a week from now, or if I die a year from now, I want to go out knowing that I tried to do something good. I tried to do the best I can. There's so many hopeless people out in the world right now. All right, let's get into this real quick. Number one, there are so many industries right now that are literally poisoning us because of profits. I am into free markets. I survive my whole life. Everything I have right here is from my own businesses, from being an entrepreneur, and from free markets. But something has gone drastically wrong in this regard that needs to have some sort of checks and balances. Something has to change. And it starts with awareness. So that's what the purpose of this video is. But let me just give you a quick example. And then I got some other examples that are going to blow your mind in terms of how much we've been lied to. And it's disgusting. It's sick. It's insane. Well, but it's just normal. That's just the way it is. You know, the cigarette industry, way back in the day, decades and decades before you had all these Surgeon General warnings and all of this stuff. They knew cigarettes caused cancer decades ago, generations ago, in fact. And they still went ahead and marketed it to women and children. And they're like, if we get these kids hooked young, they're going to be lifelong cigarette tobacco consumers. Despite the fact they knew it would kill people. It would literally kill people from cancer. It would drastically shorten their lives. It would cause all sorts of suffering. But profits? What are you going to do? Profits? Let's make some more money and we'll kill people. So one encouraging thing is we've had a massive shift in cigarettes and usage of tobacco since all this awareness was spread And they started putting warnings on cigarette packages, and a lot of the laws changed in terms of marketing those things to kids. But it's happening over and over again in all of these other industries. So last night, the girls and I watched a movie. I saw this a couple of years ago. And shout out to my daughter, Katie. She's got her own YouTube channel now, Outdoor Katie. And she's doing keto, and she's the little researcher in the family. She'll just latch onto something, and she does these book reports. And I think it's awesome. She saw my book I was talking about with Dr. Georgia Eid. Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind. Katie went off and did a book report on it. Yesterday, she was talking about forever chemicals. I was like, what got you on that? She saw something on the news. Last night, we watched this movie, Dark Waters. It's with Mark Ruffalo. It's 5 years old. It's all about these forever chemicals. This is insanity. This is, if you guys haven't heard about these things, you probably heard about them a little bit, but you're probably like, what are you going to do? Life's so fast, I can't worry about it. These forever chemicals from DuPont. This company knowingly put this stuff into our water systems, into the air systems, into their own employees, causing birth defects and cancer and all of these issues. And they completely and totally knew about it, just like the cigarette industry did decades and decades prior internally, and they did nothing about it. They continued making billions of dollars and doing it at the expense of so many people. Now, you watching this right now, if you don't know what forever chemicals are, I suggest go watch some videos on it. I'll tell you this, they're in your body, and they're in your body forever. And they bioaccumulate. So the more that you come in contact with, the more you get, increasing your odds of getting cancer, increasing your odds of having fertility issues, increasing your odds of having a baby with birth defects. Cancer rates, coincidentally, just been going through the roof the last decade or so. Absolutely through the roof. Gee, I wonder why. These companies know about it. They get a little slap on the wrist. They've been sued a couple times. They're still everywhere. They're literally in every product. If anything your food is wrapped in has forever chemicals in them. Most of the water you're drinking has forever chemicals in it. Most of the makeup that you put on has forever chemicals in it. They bioaccumulate, so you're getting hit from all these different angles. The water you drink, the makeup, the food wrappers, everywhere. Everything's processed. Everything's wrapped in something. People are willingly poisoning themselves. This is changing the biology in the human body with these forever chemicals. This is literally the start of one of these zombie movies. This, my friends, is how it happens. It's absolute insanity. And they're everywhere. They're still everywhere. And some countries are trying to get to it. And then what do the companies do? Oh, I think I just saw a turkey over there. Look at. Ooh, did you see that? A couple turkey just flew over there. I don't know if you saw that or not. God, I'm so blessed. Thank you. So now these companies, DuPont and these ones, they're changing it now to the safer ones. And anytime they get in trouble, they just change it slightly. Now these safer ones are actually apparently probably much worse than the original ones. They're ubiquitous. They are everywhere. Everything, everywhere, all at once. They're literally everywhere. What do you do about it? Dr. Barry did a really good video on what you can do to try to reduce your odds of getting these. And number one thing is your water. Makeup, processed foods, all this other stuff. So we talked about tobacco. Now we talked about forever chemicals. Now let's talk about sugar. Sugar is just like nicotine. I guarantee you, these sugar companies, they know damn well what they're doing. They know how bad sugar is for you. There's all sorts of records of the sugar industry paying off colleges to run these bogus studies to say, oh, sugar's just fine. It's the meat that's causing the issue. It's the sugar that's causing chronic inflammation that leads to cancer. It's the sugar that causes chronic inflammation that leads to Alzheimer's and dementia and all of these chronic diseases that we have. This inflammation that causes brain fog. Healing humanity, the majority of humanity right now is walking around in a brain fog because of sugar. They're not going after their goals and dreams and hopes in life. They're barely getting by. They're puttering along using the improper fuel because they're addicted to a drug that lights up the brain like cocaine. It's called sugar. It causes all sorts of issues with depression and anxiety. It gets a complete pass. And we're giving it to our children. And these sugar industries, just like the tobacco industries of the past, get them hooked early at a young age, and they're going to be a lifelong drug addict, sugar consumer. Sure, the kid's going to get ADHD. Sure, the kid's going to have some learning disorder. Sure, the kid's going to have the terrible twos, which is basically just they're hyped up on sugar and the poor kid can't sleep at night because you're giving the kid a drug that has been normalized. It is such insanity. So many issues in the world right now are from that. So there you have sugar. Now we can talk about glyphosate and Roundup. It's everywhere. Just like the forever chemicals are everywhere. This glyphosate Roundup thing, if you haven't gone down this rabbit hole yet, literally we're turning our foods into frankenfoods, and we're turning our bodies into little Frankenstein bodies. It is legitimately, this is how the world will come to an end, with a zombie apocalypse. Quick interruption. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning more about our documentary, Healing Humanity, The Power of a Proper Human Diet, or supporting it, please visit donate.healinghumanity.movie. Our goal is to reach millions of people that are hopeless right now, and sharing the examples of real people over the course of 1 year that are undertaking a proper human diet to overcome obesity, type 2 diabetes, depression, anxiety, fertility issues. We couldn't do it without you. We thank you so much. We are also selling these shirts, Healing Humanity, The Power of a Proper Human Diet. Every penny we get from those goes towards the documentary. And last, we have memberships. If you click the little join button, it's best to do it on desktop. Under any one of my YouTube videos, you can join and become a member. We have hundreds of members right now. We do members only videos. We do members only behind the scenes. You can email me as a member and I'll answer you. And every penny from that goes to support the documentary. And the last thing is we have these Redmond's portable salt shakers. These things are awesome. You can get the best salt. You can take it with you. We sell these on the website along with our water bottles and cutting boards, and every penny from all of those goes 100% towards supporting the documentary. You can also sign up for our newsletter, which is completely free. All of these links are in the description below. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to today's video. And I'm not trying to do these scare tactics. This is the truth. This is why we need to spread the awareness. This is what's going on right now. We're eating these Franken foods. This glyphosate is crazy. They take corn and they genetically modify it, which is such a departure from what is natural, so that it'll be resistant to this invasive weed killer, Roundup. And then they could just spray this toxic poison garbage all over the corn. It decimates everything, all the insects, everything, all the weeds, all the grass. It completely destroys the soil. But the corn's fine because it's Franken corn. And then what happens? The soil's destroyed. They got to put more chemicals into it to grow next year. The corn is saturated with this poisonous glyphosate Roundup, which the World Health Organization has deemed probable cancer causer. There's all sorts of lawsuits for this. There's all sorts of studies that have been done on it. They're trying to ban it in other countries. It breaks the blood-brain barrier. It causes leaky gut. All of these incidents of IBS and leaky gut and stomach issues, I had it. They're all coincide with the usage of glyphosate. They modify the corn so that it's resistant, and then they could just spray the hell out of it. So they put so much more on the corn and the food and the produce or whatever you're going to be consuming there. And so now humans are consuming even more glyphosate because they're trying to destroy everything else, and it's breeding super weeds, and it's just absolute insanity. I interviewed Dr. Ken Berry. He said, every single time you eat a bowl of cereal, you're eating glyphosate. You have a salad, you're eating crunchy water with glyphosate on it. We're getting glyphosate, we're getting pesticides, we're getting sugar, herbicides, and forever chemicals. And if the pesticides weren't bad enough, most pesticides now also have forever chemicals in them. People that are trying to eat healthy and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna go have a salad. It's so good for you. You gotta eat in balance. Balanced meal, eat in moderation. They're literally eating crunchy water. The water has forever chemicals in it with glyphosate because it's been sprayed on the lettuce. Pesticides on it as well, and those pesticides also have forever chemicals. So the water in the lettuce, you got forever chemicals in. The pesticides, God knows what that does to your stomach. Pesticide means death. Herbicide, pesticide. If it ends inside, it means death. So you're slowly poisoning yourself there. And people just go with this thing, well, it's not that bad. It's just a little bit. We've deemed it okay for you. Who's deemed it okay for me? The people selling the pesticides and the people paying the governments and lobbying things, those are the ones that always, oh, it's fine, it's a small enough amount. Well, for me, I just surpassed 1 year eating a proper human diet. And I started out, we're going to do this documentary, Healing Humanity, and it's going to be about the carnivore diet. It's going to be about eating only meat. Drastically changed since then. What is this about? This is about returning to what is natural. The reason I was so sick for so long wasn't because I was not just eating only meat. It was because I was eating all of these other things that are so unnatural to humans. Pesticides, herbicides, glyphosate, sugar, highly inflammatory foods that we shouldn't eat. Had I just eliminated all those things, would I be like this? I don't think so. There's also stuff I was missing from the meat. You eat that fatty meat and it balances out your hormones. My depression went away. It changes your insulin. It changes your hormones. Your sleep improves. Depression goes away. Anxiety goes away. Because your body craves the fat that's in that meat. So it's a combination of things. But one of the most incredible things I've learned over the course of this year, humanity has normalized poisoning ourselves. And we are poisoning ourselves more now than we ever have before, from every angle. Sugar, highly inflammatory, leads to chronic inflammation, leads to cancer. Then on top of the sugar, we add in glyphosate, breaks the blood-brain barrier, causes leaky gut. Then on top of that, we add pesticides. Oh, it's just a little bit of death poisoning that I'm ingesting. I sprinkled water over my strawberries. You're still ingesting death and poison. We're getting it from every single angle. And that doesn't even account for our escape from what is natural in terms of exercise. Getting out here in the fresh air, proper sunlight. We're sitting under fluorescent lights all day, scrolling around on our phone all day. We're not breathing fresh air. We're not exercising. We're not getting outside. Humanity has departed so far away from what is natural. But we have a choice, and we can change that, and we can choose to change that. It's not easy. I've done it for a year now, and I've never felt better my entire life. How are we going to change this? How are we going to stop poisoning our children with sugar and glyphosate and forever chemicals and seed oils and frankenfoods? How are we going to do this? Awareness. We have to spread the awareness, and we have to, as adults and parents, set examples. I'm so thankful that over the course of this year, my children, most of them are carnivore or ketovore, and they're all learning about these things. And I keep telling them, your life is a result of the decisions you make. And every one of you listening right now, you can't unhear that. You can decide and just be like, life is too short. I'll have a little bit of poison and a little bit of forever chemicals and a little bit of glyphosate. Well, then when you're 60 years old and you're diagnosed with cancer and you got a couple years left to live or a couple months left to live, you don't have any excuses at that point. You can't unring this bell. How do we change this? It starts with awareness. Number two, it starts with examples and sharing the real examples of individuals that are practicing what they preach, like myself, like Dr. Barry, like Dr. Tony Hanting, and that are having incredible results. We're positive deviants. We're doing something different from the social norm, and we're having incredible results. I'm hoping this documentary is going to help do a lot of those things, both spread awareness and share the examples of other people, but I'm hoping you watching this will do the same thing. You be your own example. So many people overcomplicate this and like, how are you going to heal humanity? I'll tell you right now how we're going to heal humanity. One individual at a time. You heal yourself, I'll heal myself. My daughter's healing herself right now. And when you heal yourself like that and you feel like a proper human, you're never going to go back. And then people are going to start to see that, and they're going to start to ask questions, and then they're going to start to heal themselves. And then it's going to keep spreading and spreading, and it already is. It's spreading like wildfire right now. Every single person watching this deserves to live one day like me. For those of you that are new here, I'm down over 100 pounds since my heaviest. I lost some of that on keto. I was horribly, clinically, suicidally depressed for most of my adult life. For 10 years, I was on every SSRI, antidepressant, and sleep medication. All of that is gone, eating a proper human diet. Returning to what is natural. eliminating, like I did a science experiment for the last year, if I really think about it. I'm gonna do a science experiment on myself where I'm gonna refuse to eat anything unnatural. I didn't cheat one time. I didn't have any glyphosate. Well, some of it gets into the food anyways, but I had beef, salt, and water. I didn't have any vegetables. I didn't have any grains. I didn't have any sugar. I didn't have any carbs, other than one piece of gum one time that had 1 carb in it in 1 year. And I feel absolutely incredible. And you can do it too. So how do we change this? How do we fix things? We have to set an example for our children. We have to do it ourselves, and we have to spread this awareness. If you guys want to learn more about the forever chemicals, I highly recommend that movie. It's called Dark Waters, starring Mark Ruffalo. Came out about 5 years ago. Dr. Barry did a really good video on how you can limit your exposure as best as possible to these forever chemicals, but they're ubiquitous. They're literally everywhere. We're literally destroying the world. And all of it is so simple. It's all an escape from natural. Now you also have the microplastics, another thing to worry about, which is also an escape from natural. Why do we need all these microplastics? The consumption of plastic in the world right now, it's just skyrocketing. And what is it for? It's all for our unnatural need to have this soda and these sugary beverages and bottled water. That's a lot of it's filled with forever chemicals. So we're doing this documentary, Healing Humanity, the Power of a Proper Human Diet. If you're interested in learning more, please visit healinghumanity.movie. If you're interested in donating, please go to donate.healinghumanity.movie. We're selling all these shirts. Every penny we get from those goes towards our documentary. We got some pretty cool chickens out there that are having some fun. Beep. So, the purpose of this video isn't to scare people, but it is really crazy out there. It is really crazy. And I know a lot of us, myself included, I'm like, back in the day, I'm so busy. I don't have time to think about this. Life is too short, whatever. I'm going to try to limit my exposure. Think about your children. Think about the next generation. It's just absolutely insane what is going on with companies profiting at the expense of our lives. People are suffering. People are getting cancer. People are dying. It's unacceptable. And it's happening to our children, and it's happening at younger and younger ages. So I'm not going to stop till we reach millions of people with this documentary. There we go. That was 20 minutes, one cut, no edit. Thank you guys for watching.